Hey guys, if you have been part of the DIY YouTube community, then you've probably seen the YouTube channel Shmoxd. I believe that's how you pronounce it, hopefully. He makes a lot of cool stuff. In his most recent video, he did tie-dyeing, and what made it a little special was that he went and screen printed a bunch of shirts with a design on it for that project, and then afterwards he went and sold these shirts. And I ended up picking one up because I really liked it. I liked the design and I wanted to try my hand at tie-dyeing it as well. So here it is, the package. Here's the shirt and a little card that came with it. The shirt looks like this. It's a white shirt with a white design printed onto it. The idea is that the tie-dye ink will soak into the fabric and then dye that and then leave the white design white. So yeah, I also wanted to try my hand at ice tie-dyeing. I've never done it before, but I think the results are really cool looking. I'm really hoping that I don't mess the shirt up. I guess like if all else fails, I could just dye it a really dark color. But yeah, so this is a little card that came with it, and I noticed on the back that it has an edition number. So this basically means that my shirt is number 11 out of 50 shirts printed. And honestly, that did make me a little more nervous to get into tie-dyeing this because I really don't want to mess it up because it's only like one of 50 shirts, at least in this print run. I don't know if he's planning on doing more. So fingers crossed that I really don't mess this up. Like I said, I can just dye it a dark color if I do. So anyway, enough of my rambling. Let's get started. You'll need a shirt, or any kind of fabric you want to dye, really. Gloves, soda ash, powdered dye, Tupperware, and a grate that would fit inside, ice, and rubber bands. These are optional. The first thing you have to do is soak the shirt in a soda ash water solution. I'm using this stuff from Tulip. It has 2 packets of soda ash and a pair of gloves in it. You can actually find better deals on this stuff. Some fabric stores carry bigger bags of it for cheaper, but I was on a bit of a time crunch, so I got this stuff, which was at the closest craft store to me. Put on some gloves, and then mix one of the packets, which is 2.25 ounces, which would be a little over 1/4 of a cup, into 1 gallon of water, into a bucket or plastic Tupperware, and stir until dissolved. Then add the shirt, making sure it gets fully saturated, and let it soak for 20 minutes. I threw the lid onto this Tupperware to keep out any curious cats while I waited. Once the 20 minutes has passed, wring the shirt out, but do not rinse it. Dump the soda ash solution if you're going to reuse this Tupperware, or grab the one you're going to use and scrunch the shirt up. You could also do other tie-dye fold or scrunching patterns, but I've always liked the look of the scrunched up method for ice tie-dyeing, so depending on how this turns out, I might experiment with other folds later. But for this one, I did a loose scrunch. And initially I was going to use rubber bands to hold it together, but then I decided not to keep the loose scrunch look. I was kind of worried that the rubber bands would create harsh lines, so I left them out. Put the grate down and then put the shirt on it. Since I didn't use rubber bands to hold it all together, all scrunched, I had to attempt to move it like this when I put the grate in. You could probably totally just scrunch or fold it while it's on the grate. That's actually what I'm going to do next time. If you did use rubber bands to hold it together, then it'll probably hold its shape, so you don't really need to worry about that. Pick out the dyes that you want to use. I'm using some that Jacquard so nicely sent to me a while ago. I used this particular dye in one of my craft hoard videos. They also sent me this indigo tie-dyeing kit, which I thought about using for this project, but I ended up deciding to do more colors on this shirt, so I thought that I would save this for a future project. The only thing about these dyes that I chose to use is that they're made to just toss into water, and then the packet that is holding them together dissolves. But I need it in powder form. I kind of thought that I could just cut them open and use them like that, so that's what I did. As long as my hands didn't get wet, I figured the packet should stay together, and it ended up working beautifully. Now cover completely with ice. We actually don't have an automatic ice maker, so I had to keep making ice and dumping it into a bag until I had enough for this project. Anyway, if you're going for a specific look, like me, I wanted the top to be purple and then go down to blue and then green, then you need to make sure to take note of which side is the top and which is the bottom, because you won't be able to see once you cover this with ice. Now you can start sprinkling the dye on. I started with the lightest one, green, and then moved to blue and then purple. Also, guess who totally forgot which side was which when I did this? Yep, as it melted I realized I did the opposite of what I wanted. Oops. Oh well, happy accidents, right? Since I didn't use all of the powder, I just put them into Ziploc bags and then put them back with the other dyes, probably to be used in a future craft hoard video. Once you're satisfied with it, let it sit for at least 6 to 8 hours and up to 24. I let mine go overnight. If you are letting it sit overnight or 24 hours or whatever, I suggest loosely covering it with some plastic wrap to prevent it from drying out. It would probably be okay, but just to make sure. So now you just have to impatiently wait for the ice to melt. When the ice is all melted and the hours are up, rinse it under cold water until the water runs clear. Toss it into the washing machine and wash it on a hot setting. Let it dry in the dryer, pull it out, and admire your work. Even though I kinda messed up with the order of the colors that I originally wanted, I really like how it turned out. And you can really see how the white screen printed design pops now that there's color in the fabric. I'm not sure if these shirts are still available. Last time I checked, they were. So if you're interested in picking one up, then I'll leave a link down below. Jeez, it is hot outside. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, and Twitch, and I'll leave the information to all of those down below. Don't forget to follow the Shmoxd YouTube channel. That's where I got this shirt. I don't know if there are still shirts available. Last time I checked, there were. So I'll leave a link to those down below if you want to get one of your own. Thank you to my patrons for helping me produce this video. I added a few more rewards to my Patreon, one being monthly coloring pages where I upload my line art and then you guys can color them in and then share them, and then the other being monthly postcards. So I'm super excited about these new rewards. If you are interested, then you can go check out my Patreon right here. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.